Hey guys, I'm Brian. She's Brenda on YouTube at New Life Recovery. Brenda, welcome.
Hey, welcome, Brian. And guess what? We have a guest. I am so stoked entirely. Miss Julie Edwards. She's a nurse practitioner. She practices medication assisted treatment, also known as MAT or MAT. And she's going to answer some questions for us and dispel some myths about buprenorphine, also commonly known as Suboxone. It's changing lives. So thanks for joining us, Miss Julie.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm so glad to be here.
So, can you start off by explaining what MAT is and how buprenorphine works? As a clue.
Sure. So medication assisted therapy is basically use of medication for treatment of substance use disorders, usually in combination with counseling and therapies, other behavioral therapies, but specifically for opioid use disorder. It helps to stabilize the person. The medication helps that person not to experience the level of cravings or withdrawal that they may have by stopping an opioid without using the medication. So the medication stabilizes them so that they are then able to be comfortable and be receptive to other types of treatment like the counseling and the therapies.
So Julie, would you explain how does buprenorphine work? How is it different than like methadone?
Yeah. So buprenorphine is the first FDA approved drug to treat opioid use disorder, or one of the first drugs. Methadone's been out there a long time, right? The difference between methadone and buprenorphine is that buprenorphine is a partial agonist and partial opioid agonist, whereas methadone is a full agonist. Well, what does that mean? Yes. So there's a difference there, and it's a major difference. It means that the opioid effects, like euphoria and respiratory depression that are caused by all opioids, are very mild compared to those effects in something like methadone or heroin or fentanyl, making it a much safer choice than those medications.
Yeah. Yeah. And buprenorphine is also a partial antagonist.
Yes. So whenever you are talking about the antagonist portion of the medication, you are talking about a separate medication um, in in a medication that contains buprenorphine, a combination, if you will, a
Right.
combination. So that would be brand name Suboxone. The generic name is buprenorphine slash naloxone. So two medications together. And the antagonist portion is the naloxone. But what it does is it kicks in if someone tries to inject the medication, the buprenorphine. So if they try to abuse the buprenorphine, that's when the naloxone will kick in, kind of offset that buprenorphine or whatever other type drug they're using off of the opioid receptor and put them into withdrawal, which means that basically they cannot get high off of whatever they're trying to inject or snort. That sort of
Exactly.
thing.
And so that's what's so wonderful about being on Suboxone. Someone who really is trying to stay clean, so they get on Suboxone. Now they're taking this, but if in a moment of weakness they tried to get high by taking pills or fentanyl or heroin, they're not going to get high because their opioid receptors are already kind of filled with that
Yes. And I
Suboxone.
will say, yes, and I will say that buprenorphine has a very high affinity for the opioid receptors.
Right.
So a lot of those other opioids have a hard time actually replacing it. Once it's in your system, it likes to sit on those receptors. So people do not get the euphoria that they may have had they not had buprenorphine in their system.
Yeah, and that's what makes it such a good drug for someone who's trying to get off, heroin or opioids. But
Yeah.
Julie, what you just said lends right into the next question. And this is the question that I get the most is, um, I tried Suboxone on the street, or I tried Suboxone in prison, and I got hot, I got high AF, So
Yeah.
like, aren't all of our clients just getting high every day?
The answer is no. The answer is no. So what buprenorphine, the beauty of it, it has a ceiling effect. And so can you get high off of it? If you work really hard, yeah, you can. But what it does for most people that take it appropriately is that it just takes them up to that steady state where they no longer feel like they're cycling between sick and normal. They just feel
Exactly.
normal again.
Exactly.
Um, so that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, I love that, Julie. And you nailed it too. If you're taking it appropriately, yes. And here's the truth. Let's be intellectually honest. If you or I were to take it right now, we would feel extremely high. If your family members who've never abused substances, who aren't actively in use, were to take it right now, yes, you're going to feel extremely high. But our clients who are taking it as prescribed are just at that balanced level, and they are able to function, and that's the beauty. And that's, Julie, what you've seen, Brenda, what you and I have seen in our practice, man. We have seen this save people's lives because they've gone from running and gunning the drug and criminal lifestyle to now, yes, I'm on a managed dose of buprenorphine, of Suboxone, and I function, and I don't have those cravings or withdrawal symptoms, and I'm able to function in my life. So, Julie, kind of ask this final question. What's kind of some of the misconceptions that you see? What are some of the biggest misconceptions about Suboxone medical assisted treatment?
Yeah. Brenda, did you have something?
Well, just along those lines, that some people say, Suboxone is just changing one drug for another.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
You know, that's
Yeah.
so kind of
Yeah.
what he was saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, that is one of the biggest misconceptions, right? You hit the nail on the head for sure. And I try to give a lot of grace to people who hold that misconception because honestly, before I started doing this work, I had a lot of misconceptions
yeah.
about
Same.
Suboxone myself. I'm going to be just as honest as I can be,
Yeah.
right? And you learn, you know better, you do better. It's certainly a life-saving drug. I've seen it with my own two eyes. I love the work that I do. What breaks my heart, I think the biggest misconception, and maybe not even a misconception, is when one of our members is trying to turn their life around. They have committed to trying to recover, and that they've paid a price, and they're
Yeah.
paying a price, for their years of addiction, and the people closest to them are, sometimes giving them a bit of a hard time,
Yeah.
because of, they feel like they've traded one opioid for
This
another.
drug that we don't understand, and that's what I'm hoping we'll get out of this video,
Yeah,
is that
we're
members
doing
can use
better.
it. Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, we're doing better. But I think it's an education issue. I think we're getting there. I think the word is getting out. It is so important for us to spread this word. I'm supportive of any way that anyone wants to get clean, but we have to be open that the one way doesn't work for everybody,
Yeah.
right? You can
Yeah.
white knuckle it, and man, if that works for you, more power to you. But not everybody can do that. So it looks a little different for everybody. And I think we just have to give people grace,
Wow.
to get there the way that the way that they can.
Yeah. Julie, amen. A home run. Brenda, any final words?
Oh, I'm all about assistance and I'm all about teamwork. And we have to try something new. You can't expect to do the same thing every day or over and over and expect a different result. So that's why this medication and the team that I'm part of right now just breathes so much hope in my heart. Makes me kind of giddy.
Good. Julie, can't thank you enough for being with us today. Brenda, this was really good. So appreciate you guys. So until next time, as always, I'm Brian. She's Brenda on YouTube at New Life Recovery. God bless you. We love you. Until next time, be well.
Bye. Thanks,
Bye bye.
Julie.